Octave 1.
And you're watching
DJ Tech Tools. I actually choose the songs that we're going to play. The master sequencer is the Kai MPC 1000. And the MPC 1000 is the master clock and the master sequencer for everything. So all the sub-sequencers, which would actually be the Fader Fox SC4, which triggers the Nord micromodular. Then we have the Korg EMX1, which also takes the master clock from the MPC 1000. And the MPC 1000 also does pattern changes on the EMX1. Also, we just incorporated the BeatStep Pro, which takes the master clock from the MPC 1000. MPC 1000 also gives a master clock to the Roland VP 9000, which is a sampler that actually syncs to MIDI. So if you do loops, you can actually sync it to MIDI so we can change tempos. With this being the master, this actually triggers most of all of the gear, and the sub-sequencers actually are second sequencers for the particular pieces of gear. So with let's say with the Nord micromodular, well, the MPC 1000 gives it MIDI, and also I can write additional MIDI on the Fader Fox, but also on the BeatStep, I can actually write additional information for the Tetra and also for the MFB 522, which is supposed to be an 808 clone. Doesn't quite sound like it, but it's a total analog piece. It's a great piece. The sequencer is not something that you can beat in. It's only a step sequencer. So I actually have the EMX, the Korg EMX1, triggering the MFB 522. So this is the master sequencer for this, and I also can write additional parts on here to also trigger that. So most of the pieces I kind of like that to give a bit more versatility. Everything is fed to Lawrence, individual tracks, 6 outputs here, 6 outputs there. Everything is separated. It goes to him.
Almost 32 channels. So as these cables come in my direction, basically, people always wonder why I don't look up a whole lot. Well, I'll tell you why I don't look up a whole lot. I have 4 different EQs that I play with on individual channels, basically about 32 channels. I have 4 individual effects, the adrenaline, 2 eventize, the space, and the H9. And also I like to play with the Alesis Nanoverb. So all of this is going on, individual tracks. So we don't do anything like across the board, pretty much. We do each and every individual sound. So there are frequencies going on, there are effects going on. Mine is a lot less technical and more listening with my ears than Lenny's, but Lenny's, I got it, whatever he sends in my direction, I gotta get it. I gotta get it, I gotta make it work. If it comes in hot, if it comes in low, whatever the situation might be, if the frequencies are too high or need to be pushed up more, I gotta be able to deliver that instantaneously because you don't get any retakes on the dance floor.
Time that we played out was in Detroit. We played at a club called Motor. Then it was very sample based. We had the MPC 2000, not the XL, 2000. We had the Ensoniq AXRX actually.
Roland 727. We took the 727
Yeah,
out
727.
It was very
bare bones. At that particular time, there wasn't a lot of small analog equipment. Everything was large. There was no such thing as a desktop piece of analog equipment. So we primarily, the tracks were made with a lot of analog equipment. So we had to sample the things that we were using because the show we did in Detroit was also supposed to be part of the tour show. So it was all supposed to be, the same equipment, blah, 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 that type of thing. As small analog pieces started to be manufactured, we were able to incorporate a lot more synthesis into our actual live show. first show we did
Kinda
defined our
yeah.
roles. The first show, I was supposed to be playing solo as one of our other monikers, Random Noise Generation. I had so much equipment on stage. In fact, I had a laptop. I was doing visuals. I had gear. I was trying to work the mixer. Right before I started playing live, Lawrence actually was DJing, and he saw me trying to, work everything at one time, and he just jumped on stage and started working the mixer. And from that, I might have played live for maybe 10 minutes by myself, and no longer have I ever played live by myself. It's always been both of us.
Pretty much when I jumped into it, I had come from behind a DJ desk mixer, and I was still mixing in my head, DJ style, because I used to go back and forth, catch beats and stuff. And that's pretty much how I adapted to the live setup as well. I kind of go catch things here and there, because that's how I like movement, And Lenny took his and made it even more. I mean, of course, you can tell he developed his rig a lot more, So, I mean, it's still the same way where he's doing his thing live and I'm kind of doing my thing live, and we just kind of marry together somehow. Probably because we understand the music, because it's ours. And, it makes it easy that way.
We like to actually have songs and not just a track. We like to have pieces that are part of verse, chorus, bridge, that type of thing. Even when it's only an instrumental, we like to have an actual song. We like to work within a song. It's a lot more fun. It gives us a lot more freedom. And it also gives us some type of guide so we don't get lost and you get self-indulgent. Because it's easy to get lost. I mean, you can have the time of your life freaking out some kind of cut-off frequency and drum rolls and everything else. You need something to kind of bring you back. Every time I add a piece, I'm looking for some additional flexibility, something where I can tweak something where I can change an entire line. And I mean, that's the purpose of all these sub-sequencers, so I can go in. And of course, I have a keyboard too, where I can also play parts on top. So the keyboard, I like to play strings and voices and things like that. I can beat some drums live too. So that's basically it. It's kind of like however you feel, man. I mean, I need to have that flexibility where if I feel like I want to have a part that's lifting, I can do something to lift the crowd. That's the important part. It's good to have that master sequencer that gives you a guide and then work within that guide and then expand that guide. So when you hear us play, it's us working within those songs. Very little.
Very little. I mean, it has to really be screwed up.
It got to be really jacked up.
If you see us talking back and forth, it's really...
it's got to be something that's affecting the entire mix that I might think he doesn't hear, or maybe he thinks I don't hear.
Yeah.
Normally, we just listen. Yeah, we kind of feel the same thing. So it's like, for instance, let's say we're jamming and he decides to just break the drums down, and I might feel that at that particular point, let's say I want to jack up and do some crazy drum roll because I got this space. I'm like, all right, well, now I can start taking them up. And so it's all kind of just feeling what I think should go in that spot. And normally, it's about the same thing that he feels should go in that spot. So, I mean, it's after a while, we've been making music together for so long. We've been playing together for so long. You do get that kind of synergy where you kind of can complete the other person's thoughts.
So, I mean, you feel it. You're like, hey, right here, this is the chorus.
Yeah.
Whether the music is changing or not, we're gonna build it. We got to make a chorus right here. It needs to come up, right here.
So maybe I need to drop some strings in that part. Maybe I need to write an additional ride real quick.
I might have to add effects. I might have to change some filters.
Something to lift that part. So yeah, it is a sort of synergy that definitely happens.